All right, darling, super quick here because I'm about to pick up my little monkey Zaina. I want to talk to you about what your inner bitch has to do with your pleasure and ultimate happiness. So sometimes when you're leaning into manifesting like we are, and you're leaning into following your desire, trusting your desire, creating a life of more gratitude, love, peace, harmony, and pleasure, sometimes we disown our negative feelings. And many, especially in the South, have this Texas or Southern nice where we're going to be really, really nice. And believe me, I love being nice. And I feel like I'm pretty friendly. I've learned to put some boundaries up, though, for my own happiness. So I want to give you a couple stories and then wrap it up in just a few minutes. So, first of all, I remember, hello, if you're there live, say hello. So, molestation was a huge part of my past. And I remember when I first woke up spiritually, I remember this conversation with Divine Father, God the Father, and him just showing me all the ways that I was precious to him. And I was like super nice, so non-confrontational, like as tree hugging yellow as you could get. And I remember when I first realized that I could set a boundary and say, like, if a guy may ask me if I had a boyfriend. And I remember being in the grocery store, and I did have a boyfriend, and I loved my boyfriend, but I could feel that the guy wanted me to be available, and there was something in me, probably related to the molestation, was related, that wanted to give him what he wanted. I didn't want to hurt his feelings. So I remember telling him, no, I don't have a boyfriend. And you guys, it wasn't because I was flirty and looking. My heart was pounding. I had so much anxiety going on because there was this subconscious need to surrender and please him and give him what he wanted, with this conflict of, hey, I'm lying and I do have a boyfriend, and my voice was just totally closed off then. And so I remember the first levels of owning my own boundary and voice. And I remember a little later when there was a child molester living in my community, and I was in my early 20s. I had this dream that let me know all of that. I'll share that at a different time. And then I looked him up, and he was a child molester, and my eldest son, Josiah, who's almost 20, was around two and a half. And I remember he would come around, and at first I was almost obnoxious, and it felt so foreign. I was like, no, get away from us, because, it was kind of scary for me. And it was a new thing, so it was a little awkward, but effective. So eventually, energetic boundaries started to be set up, and I didn't need to scream no at someone. Hi, Stephanie. I didn't need to scream no at someone when it was time for me to say no. But for you to have, and I had a tough conversation today with someone, okay? I've been walking on eggshells in some ways, really trying to be loving and still honor my voice, but, hold space for this person. And it just got to an edge, and I just had to say what I had to say and put down some boundaries and still stay in my heart. So I wasn't ugly, but there was like, what I had to call upon in myself is this kind of angry bitch, side of me. And it's not where I live 90% of the time, but she is useful, she is powerful, she is roaring, she is the part of you that will she's the lioness, if you have children, it's the woman that will show up to lift a car in the right moment. So my point is that as you're pursuing this life of desire and manifesting, first of all, it may feel like you're calling on this bitch, especially if you haven't. And you may not want to. You could even feel uncomfortable, like, I don't want them to think I'm a bitch. I don't want them to, I don't like being mean or angry. But here's the thing. Whenever you start to own your voice and your own desires, for most people, there is a fear of what will people think. That's why we haven't owned them before. Or there is a desire to please that supersedes the desire to be yourself or to follow these inklings. So when you first start doing it, it can feel like, oh my gosh, I'm being so rude, I'm being so mean. But again, trust that the heart and love that you are, that would want to stay in harmony with community, is the same heart that is, guiding and talking through all of this. So there are going to be moments in your life where your inner bitch, and if that word offends you, my apologies, I love it for this for this point, when your inner bitch needs to show up and stand up. So own that and celebrate her and appreciate her, because that often is the archetype that's going to help bring your voice up initially. And then after a while, it doesn't feel like you're being a bitch. It just feels normal, and you won't be so roaring. But honor her and love her. Hi, Kristen. All right, I'm going to pick up my baby. Love you all. Bye. Oh, if you think this is a valuable group, add your friends. Add your friends. Okay, bye, loves.